Okay, so today we're going to learn how to make a multi-view sketch in Inventor. Okay, so the first step that you're going to make is you're going to open up Inventor and you're going to go to a new document. Actually, the first thing you're going to do before you do any of that is make sure you're in your correct project. Okay, I haven't saved these, so I'm not going to go through that, but you know how it looks like when you get a new thing. You go to your project folder, you double click the one that you need to be in this case it would be our puzzle cube one, and you make sure that that's your correct project. Okay, from there you're going to go to new, and you're going to have a new folder in there. We've been in this English one before where it shows all of these, but most of the computers, if yours doesn't have Walton on there, I'll come fix that later, but most of them will have this Walton folder. You're going to double click on walton.dwg for drawing. Okay, you're going to then input your name, your class period, and your class in all caps. Okay, so I'm going to put Mr. Vernon. I'm going to click down and I'm going to put all, because I'm the master of all classes. IED is our class. And then I'm going to put 4.1 puzzle cube. Actually, this one will be 4.2, really. Okay, this thing will come up automatically after you open the drawing file. Okay? So, once you're done with that, you're going to click OK. It's going to give you another prompt. You're going to click OK again. All right, then you're going to get this blank Walton folder open, or this blank Walton drawing. The reason we do this is because the default one in Inventor is 11 by 17 and it won't print correctly. Plus, we want to have our awesome logo down here. Okay, so next thing that we're going to do is, all right, so after you have that open, now you're going to want to start to place your parts in there, okay? So to do that, you're going to go to this base view. All right, and there you're going to go here, and it's going to ask you what piece you want to do. I've done Captain America and Hulk, so which one do you guys want to do next? Iron Man it is, okay? So I'm going to select Iron Man. Now I notice on here that it gives me this view right here. All right, so depending if that's the view I want, we're going to check and see. I might want to go back and change it. All right, so I'm going to place those. It does it automatically, you'll notice, and then I'm going to hit create. Once I've done that, it has my views placed in here correctly. All right, now I'm going to hit undo because I want to show you how you can place them in a different view. Okay, so say that wasn't the best view that I wanted. Okay, I'm going to select Iron Man again. Okay, and actually I think this one was the best view, but say I wanted to go in here. Let me redo that, because that probably didn't make a lot of sense. But you can pick this first view that I'm selecting here is always going to be my front view. So that's the one that it bases these off of. Now, if none of these right here that I'm selecting give me the one that I want, I can click this little button right here, and it says Change View Presentation. All right, and from there, I go into my isometric view, all right, and I can rotate it around until I find the best one. Okay, so maybe instead of that other view that it had, maybe I like this is my best isometric view. Okay, so that's what I think is the best isometric. So then I'm going to click right here, and that's going to give me the front view that I want. Okay, so I'm going to click Finish Custom View, and now it gives me that as my front view. Okay, so I place them all there, hit Create. Okay, and now that one actually does do a better job because now I have no hidden lines. Okay, now there are a couple of other options that we had in that menu. If you'll notice, when I hover over this and it gives me that little spider looking thing in that red box, if I double click that, that'll get me back to that menu. Alternately, if I hover over and I just click and drag, I can actually move this around. Okay, so I'm going to go back and double click here because there's a couple of options. Here is Hidden Lines Removed. So I can click that and take away the hidden lines. We always want to have them, so I want to make sure this one's clicked. Additionally, if I hit shaded and then hit OK, it gives me all the color. But I don't want that because that will waste a lot of ink. So this should be unclicked. But those are just some of the things you can do. Additionally, I can change the scale. If I change this to 2 instead of just 1, all right, it would make this a lot larger. It'll do it actively as if I'm placing the view. So if I go back in here, for example, and I replace my views, so I'm going to go, oh, that's the wrong one. I got to click the right one again. I want Iron Man. I want my orientation to be like this. Okay. Now, if you'll notice, as I'm placing it, if I hit 2, it'll double the scale. That's way too big. So for your puzzle cube project, 1 should be fine. Okay. So back to this. Right click, create. And now I've got my views created. All right. So the next step that I need to do is to dimension these. Okay. So another cool little security feature for me is that if you scroll in down here, it automatically lists the file name right here. All right. It also lists my login. So if I try and steal a part from someone else, it's going to have their login. I'm going to know you're cheating. Okay. So next I want to dimension. So I'm going to click up here on one of these other tabs. What do you guys think the tab it would be for dimensioning? Annotate. Good. All right, so I can look here. I can actually throw in some annotations, which we're going to do in a second. But for now, we're going to concentrate on dimensioning. So I'm going to click the dimension button. Okay, I'm going to start off with my width. Okay, there's a couple ways I can do width. The first way, I can just simply click on one line, and it'll bring that up. Now you'll notice, see how it kind of stops me on these dotted lines every now and then? Those, it counts a certain set of certain distance away and automatically locks in there. So I would click when it's on one of those. The reason is because if I were to do a second dimension, I can click it and it'll be nice and in line. Now I'm not going to do this one because that would be an over dimension. All right, but I do need my overall width still. So I'm going to go and I'm going to dimension. Now the first way I showed you was just grabbing the line. The other way is I can grab this line and it'll try to dimension this, but if I go ahead and click on a second line, now it'll do this dimension. So it'll do my overall width. Okay? So now I'm good on width. I've got this width and I've got the overall, and I could calculate this one from that. Okay? So the next thing I want to do is my height. Okay? And now this is where I'm going to run into a problem, because if I do my height, okay, I can dimension this guy to right here, and I can dimension this one to right here. But then if I do my overall, I'm going to overlap, or I'm going to cross over this line right here. So this might be a time where it would be good for me to realize that I can delete this overall width dimension, and I can actually move it up here to the top, because now I won't be crossing over any lines. Okay? So that's one way to make it a little bit neater. All right? And then so what's my last dimension that I need? I've done width and height, so I need depth. Okay? My depth I want to go either up here or over here. Okay? I think this one kind of gives me a good shape of it, so I'm going to do it down here. So I'm going to click this one first, do my individual depth, and then do my overall. Okay? And now I see it's kind of running into my isometric, so if I go back and I grab the crawly thing, pull this one down a little bit, grab the crawly thing here and move it up just a tad, now I've cleaned it up a bit. Okay? And then so the last thing I want to do is I can go to a text box right here and I can just throw in some annotations. Okay? So I'm going to create my box where I want the text to go, and I'm going to go name Iron Man, number of cubes. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cubes. Okay. Color is, what did he call it? I think candy apple red in the movie. And then finally for material, I'm going to put maple. Okay, then I'm going to click OK. Now my annotations show up down there in the corner, and I'm pretty satisfied with this multi-view drawing. Okay, I've got all my dimensions. And you guys will notice it does all of my object lines, and if we had hidden lines, it would show all of those automatically in here. So that's a good way you can check to see how yours were. That is awesome, Cheryl. Okay, so, and you just made the video. So that's how you do multi-view drawings, and that's it for our tutorial today.